Today we're going to look at a formation that we've done 2, maybe 3 times in the past over the last year and a half. One that you see comes directly from our Yang Jian Miquan Taiji Jian form. It's one we haven't done in a while. Of course, it always bears to repeat these things because you can look at it from different angles, and that's exactly what I want to do today. Because I'm noticing in people's swordplay that sometimes the things we've discussed in our formations are not showing up in the swordplay. In particular, when you get to new practitioners coming out to actually engage and get into a bout, what we start seeing is, I would say it's a very bad rendition of West Side Story, where they start going like this and just kind of poking at the guy's hand and poking and pulling away. I really hate to see that, frankly. I can't think of a single form that has anything like that. So if anybody's doing that and saying it's Chinese swordsmanship, I would say that is nonsense. Show me where that is in any practice at all. It's nonsense. That is not Chinese swordplay. That is 2 kids playing tag with sticks who have no idea what they're doing. So we should not be just trying to poke the other guy's hand and pull away. But this is a common occurrence, so it's something that we've got to deal with and get past. What's happened, I've seen this happen over and over again, is that when you're beginning to learn to use these techniques, you've done some drills and you realize, well, if I deflect, I can cut and come back. Okay, I can cut, I can move in, I can deflect and thrust. If the Duifeng comes in, I can deflect and countercut if the Duifeng looks to come in. And that's the first step. We're just getting you to use your body to deflect, to move, to start to be able to use your feet. And if you can do that, if I can have 2 students who are able to exchange, and it's almost like a nice ballet of cut, countercut, cut, countercut, in a relatively controlled circumstance. It's free, you don't know what Duifeng's going to give you, but you're able to continue to move and change the direction and move with your Duifeng. I'm really quite happy. That's a very good start. What everybody quickly realizes is that, hey, if I move in and deliver a cut, that Duifeng can deflect and countercut me. So I don't want to go in deep like that. It's true, you don't just want to charge in with 1 cut. That's the first step in getting you using your body properly, learning to deflect and countercut and stay on line and try to skip that stone, work to get that skill. But if you just come in with 1 cut, it's fairly easy for your Duifeng to understand what you're doing and give you a countercut back. So what everybody does is move back a little further to out of distance or just out of distance, which is where you should be, and they start kind of just poking at the other guy's hand. So the problem with that, of course, is it goes nowhere. You haven't used any of the things that you've been studying, and it's just, honestly, it's not a very interesting or fun game to play either. So here we're going to look at how we're going to change that up. I indeed may very well go, and often will have to do some movement. I always will say, when you get to a seminar in person, we're training together, I'm going to hear me say many, many times, arm and in, arm and in, arm and in. Because that's the thing that's sticking out. The sword arm is what's going to either deflect you, neutralize you, or intercept you, or hit you with a cut. So you have to deal with this arm, the sword arm. So we've done these kinds of things before. I may jaw, right? These are all things that we've done that you should be using in any free play that you're doing. Maybe we did jaw and then P, for example, right? We've done P cuts followed by P cuts. We've done all kinds of things. We've done a thrust, lure the Duifeng in to give you a countercut, and then cut to the hand and follow. These are all ways that you carve your way in. If there isn't any error, any defect in your Duifeng's position to take advantage of, you do something to create motion, to create a line that you can come in. So that's what we're going to look at today. What I do not want to see anybody doing is this pokey stuff to the hand. It's nothing to do with swordsmanship, and you're not going to advance. But also, please keep in mind, you're going to take your hits. If you're not willing to get bruises, and plenty of them, do not show up for an in-person seminar. I guarantee you, you're going to be hurt. It's going to be painful. This is martial art. You're going to get plenty of bruises. In fact, we came up with a term for this. Years ago when I was teaching in Moscow after Sancho class, guy took off his shirt, changing and getting ready to go home, and he had spots all over his body. It's Russia. They're serious about their Sancho. And we said, oh, you're all right. You joined a leopard club. So that's what we call it. It's a leopard club. When you have lots of spots on your body because you've been training hard and in the process of learning, you get hit. So if you're not willing to get hit, you're not learning swordplay, you're not learning Sancho, you're not doing whatever. So don't just worry about, oh, I don't want to get hit. I want to win the game. I don't want him to hit me. Become very skillful and he won't hit you. But that process is going to mean that you will be hit, you will be bruised, you will be hurt. This is a martial art. That's what happens.